Uh, so from past couple of sessions, Geshe-la said the important thing that we covered were the definition or meaning of the tenets and differences between Buddhist or non-Buddhist or internal or external, the literal translation, and differences between the tenets holder of the external and internal, or outside or inside, or you can say Buddhist or non-Buddhist.
Tendi indegalata khazam mekyo mangpo jede ne tasu riri re to sala bos tuba am tam che vetan tingi rang loil don dordo mevena tuptha se sig do ase trup sedigala ripe lamni kao thegi mindu mithe bade ka chi the bade rang loil du tubya se tus chini tesum gore te tinjove tamja tingi tempo che rang loil da pe tup sane denwe tamja tingi pe chi gola kandeji ne pe rikpatana rikpatiki ne mengi tamja tempo jila tunta siore that okay yeah tamja tempo jile tin digala ta ngone ngana to di chegen to lo yanga inge kya ko tende phengyo amare pe ngone rikpatang chik phage teju yabo chogo de kecho
I think it's fan.
Fan de kasha. Yeah, that karma. That's the karma.
Oh, actually, I can turn my back to the fan. Yeah, then. Fan on session. Konzo go fan go dus. Ma pa khalo sho. En dil lung khik maro.
Okay, kya karta?
Kya mare?
Kya diksha ani?
Ade tidu.
Diksha to kya mare?
Ade sir.
Ten desa to ai.
This one, right?
Yeah, I just made that work.
Oh, okay. So the Geshe-la just revised what we said before. The meaning of the tenet, especially people who missed class before, and it's on page 150. Tenet. Established conclusion signifies one's own established assertion within being demonstrated by reasoning and scripture, because one will not pass beyond this assertion. It is a conclusion. So here you can also say that this is a very firm, strong decision that you made through logical approach or means, and this decision cannot be contradicted by any other logical statement or approach. So this is when we talk about tenet or conclusion or established conclusion, this is the result of thoroughly investigation or experimentation.
Tati ndi galang ngone kiranzu deba yena ta phage garsa ore ripe lam jangwa de pe misbe ke chim chari ore tuptha se de phage chi lo ini ja sha chi bu mare yang ni yang do susi luyula phage chi ngone ngobi ni chu de kararin do kande je ini chena dije de ta pe 심조 제게 science for the research ko chik kya res chi je khayone taje tangor chi gi ribelamni ngui ni chudi je tangor res.
So if you have a serious interest, then you need to study the logical once you learn this through logical kind of approach, and simply reading the text or the scripture is not enough. In order to have a good understanding for yourself and to come to what is called here established conclusion, one needs to be looking after what is the reality, and this needs research. Basically, you are doing a research, and in scientific research, there is substances or entity that scientists does research with, but here the research is done through logical kind of understanding.
Yanchi tela tobin rota, Yanchi male yoa meba, Tenekache Marache, Tiny Selores, Mengenji yoa tobin rotani, do city, Kachashia Meachi. Yoashi midus in any pay, tobin ratani, Kachashia Meachi. Why you need to forget Tichutang the Kate Chimbores?
And what is important here is, as I said before, try to get to the reality. What is realistic? And here, when we say realistic, one shouldn't be falling into true extremes. And true extremes here, exaggeration that although phenomena exist, saying that it doesn't exist. And the another extreme is although it doesn't exist, you're saying that although it one is saying it exists, but doesn't, and another is although it doesn't exist, you are saying it does exist. So kind of two extreme or two opposite, and through exaggeration. So one should be able to kind of stay away from these two extremes.
다 지난게 개발돼 gemdo군이 제국으로 에스 순거래. gemdo군이 제디가라 다 디네 기란도 로스 디디 가산데 gem도데 세버지 라메스 가르서는 고 디네 요래 아니 고 최저선지 뭐저 좀다 장뒤 간라 gem도에 남이데 하고근지라 바가 리빌람 가로 장데긴지 그 좀다 코나나 빅스마다 용거 말했어. 아니 지난게 개발돼 gem도군이 제디가라 gem도 유고그래. Kemdo ngogore, Kemdo Kapar, Della Kemdo de la Tejin Kemdo, Temin Kemdo, Nabi Kemdo in a two sitting Gongware. Ani Tendi Indugala, Kemdo Sidigala, Horwatang and Sonsuna, Menta, Temin Kemdoina, Horwatang and Sonsuna Jishin Trani, Dele Kevin, Conjason, each Tebalegdoa, Tendi Gugdoa. Jasa, Horwatang and Sonsuna and Jidate, Tendijina, number Sangibi. Kimduma Ingura. Kimdu Guden Kaza Ingura. Tendina, that number Sangi became to Guden Kazaina, Tendi be chat has a tangaina. Tasatana Tangur, the Tivalane, Vilam Chair, Di Dinala, Sebundu, Tunda Dinala. Oda, Chip Pagi, Kaji Sobatun, any Raja Tumbala, Kimdo your Maravis, Raja Tumbala Kimdo Maris. Inayam, Rani Kroadang only trolls are the day. Jen Corole came to your race. He is up Camden Nigula, Camden me Galkin, Camden me nobody Juguma races, Sebusun Shadow, out that is Tola Samdana Yabo race.
And we also, the text also discusses about the differences between outsider and insider, or differences between Buddhist and non-Buddhist, and this difference is based upon whether one has a refuge or not. If you have a refuge to the three jewels, you are Buddhist, and if you don't, then outsiders. And you can read here the note to this in the text, but in Tibetan text. Although if you look at the only object of refuge in itself is a kind of long a topic, a long it's lots of study only on object of refuge. So when we look at So here, why it is not mentioned in detail is because people who are studying these tenets, it is generally assumed that they already know all this basic understanding about Buddhism, like a refuge and taking a refuge. And the refuge itself is, when we talk about the taking refuge, it is categorized into what are the causes of refuge, what are the nature of refuge, what are the differences, different level of taking refuge, like refuge of lesser vehicle, refuge of a higher vehicle, and generally when we say a refuge, it is actually in your note to in the text, page 150. The three jewels are Buddha, the Dharma, or realization of selflessness and abandonment of obstruction that protect one from suffering, as well as the teaching of these, and Sangha, or community of Buddha's followers. So generally, when we say refuge or taking refuge, the Tibetan word is gyabdo, gyamdo. It refers to the genuine. First, taking refuge. Taking refuge here refers to the having a genuine sense of fear, against cyclic existence and lower realms, and therefore you have interest, or you have a strong feeling of liberating yourself from this cyclic existence, and through that you generate faith and trust in three objects of refuge. So if you have that mental state, then you can say that you are Buddhist. But here there's also you can do more kind of bring more kind of arguments. So if somebody has this kind of mental state, can you necessarily say that that person is Buddhist or not? Then Geshe-la said there's another Chinese textbook in that it kind of mentioned detail about this refuge part, and says so how about Buddha Shakyamuni, is he a Buddhist or not? And if he's a Buddhist, then he should have a fear against cyclic existence, but that shouldn't be true to Buddha. Buddha doesn't have fear at all. So the question is, is he Buddhist? Then if somebody asks, is he a Buddhist? And then the reason that you are using is because he should have a sense of fear against cyclic existence and falling into the lower realms. Is that true? Then of course that's not true. And so it says that in the text, in order not to have this kind of criticism, it says although Buddha doesn't have a feeling of fearness or wanting to liberate himself from the cyclic existence, but he has a strong interest of benefiting others who has kind of same sense of fearness of liberating oneself from cyclic existence. And in Buddhism, when you talk, or when you take a refuge to object of three object of refuge, or three jewel, one needs to be simply saying that I want to take a refuge, or bless me by object of refuge. That's not enough. You need to be opening your kind of analytical kind of mind. Make it more kind of analysis. Why why Buddha has why Buddha needs a refuge in three objects of refuge, which Buddha is one. And so there are many ways that you can use a logical understanding of learning this refuge, and try to make yourself more kind of creative, bring more arguments.
어떤 두스레 다 지난기 두타마의 개발을 세두가라 지난기 개발다 지난기 두타마의 개발이 배대가 가래 지난기 개발 캠도고니 지난기 두타마의 개발을 세두가라 템바 따와 숨기고니 제고 왔어.
And this one also we went through last teaching, page 152. There's differences between outsider and insider proponents of tenets. The proponents of here tenets, outsider and insider, proponents of tenets is based on three things. Page 152: teacher, teaching, and view or concept. And based on these three, one can differentiate outsider proponents of tenets and insider proponents of tenets. And this is, of course, different or separate from simply outsider and insiders, or Buddhist and non-Buddhist.
덤바 균 군세 윤된 소바스 다 모네 균 시두가라 하기 룽아기 녀제 마임바 대자 마임바 녀모다 시작티바 타다 제니 오다 균 타다 제니 균 쨘메바 어텐디지라 균 군세 세고 녀모 룽아기 녀제 마임바 룽아기 녀제데 가래 그래 낭 셈기상니 녀모 벌티티 녀몬데 칼리킨 뜨요래 단지 머리 발겨 머리 빠자다 제바 거기 시리리자네 이에 젠데긴지라 경군세 시고 연된 조바스도 갈라 즉 응원이 즉 마랑주 시르군에 따지고 갈라 소세 동발라 가른 나티 이나 가린에 정말 샤르기도 와 디나징기 점된데기 투지식이 뒤순가 지자도 인베 챙겨래. 다 디나진 디니 윤된 탐지 응안댕이 가래이나 집배 숭쳐져지야 인자 윤된 소바지 오다 딘디지라 덤바스티 경군세 윤된 군den세야데 딘디지레스 고아지나.
And the things that we completed, we went through last class. The first teacher, teacher who has extinguished all faults and completed all good qualities. And extinguished all faults here not only refers to the negative qualities of physical and verbal, but it refers to the, as it says, all faults. All negative, qualities here, even wisdom obscuration, or another way of saying is obscuration to achieve enlightenment, including mental imprints. So you can simply say wisdom obscuration, including mental imprints, and everything. All these negativities were extinguished. So physical and verbal negativities comes from internal mind, right? And the mind, the negative mental qualities comes from ignorance, not knowing. And so Buddha has completely eliminated negativities from its very root, including mental imprints. So that's what we referred to here, all faults. And then he completed all good qualities. Good qualities such as the mind of the enlightened being can see or understand or perceive all 3 times at one moment. In one moment, Buddha can perceive or understand all 3 times, and he is always ready or prepared to teach whatever is necessary. And it is like for us, it is like looking at a mirror. We can see everything. Whether it is dirt or whatever we have on our body. If you look at the mirror, we can see. So that's how Buddha kind of, and that's the way how Buddha possess every or all good qualities.
수수 동바 나티의 경유나 수수 하고 말와 멜롱이나 차상가리어든 차상 셔트부터 때나진 덤비 두비도 된지 차려요. 샤트 뒤좀 되고 아니 쟁기 로다 참be 가면 나오면 된지 차려.
And Buddha's mind is like I said before, we can't see ourselves if we have some, dirts or black dots on our face. But when we look at the mirror, we can see everything. And also, Buddha can, Buddha knows, can teach, according to the mental dispositions of whoever at that time is listening to him.
탑해보 두시 전부 시부지 탑해 전부를 때나 탑해보 써야 될 간지 지거를 부부 루넨지기 미천보지고 부부도 송은데 미천보고 그러와 미천보고 부부 초디 갈라 부부에 파게 가르고잖아 어디 때다 파네 파기 경고를 마도 부부들 앞에 때가 수습에 잼보 와요르잖아 부부 초투고 말와 무를 마도 telika 두루두고 마도 무말 코페 간디지 때당 너제 마테제페 부부 로다 참바지 내가 진짜 두이나 부부대 소설로 코르게 돼 있어. 어떤 텐디지 정된데기 거기 직 대바 오만에 오말 카장야라 정된데기 로다 참바지네는 깔리 티지야 람 장제니까 하나 미네비 냥데는 거 그거야.
And part of the completed, all good qualities also includes skillful means and possession of great compassionate mind. And skillful means here refers to it is like when we try to rear a child, a kid. If you kind of do whatever is fit and suitable to that children, he or she will be happy and very kind of always want to be with you, not using always kind of force and kind of enforcing whatever you want, but kind of doing something that he or she wants. So here Buddha, the skillful means includes Buddha shows path, teaching according to the mental disposition of the lesser vehicle practitioner, and then he gradually brings those followers up to the higher level, even or eventually to the enlightened state of mind.
템바든 너지 체험해 봤어도 또 잠시 잠바도 체험이 세도 돈이다 냠는데 나다도 중고래.
And the teachings are not harmful to any sentient being. And here, mainly this includes the practice of great compassionate mind and loving kindness. And to the unbiased, people who look at Buddha, if you look at his teaching, we don't need much explanation to prove that he is a teacher or preacher of the non-harmful teachings.
어디 두세 아니 덤바 타와 다 단디 자기지는 게 나와다 다지나와 지기 동화 시대다 즉 다지나와 지기 동화 아니 자기지는 게 자기지들이 뒤제 담제 미다바 자제 담제 등어 최 담제 다음에 봐 냥하는데 봐 유아오 세대 최 담제 다음에 봐서 다음에 다지나와 지기 동화 다음에 라파드 차려
And the third is view, page 152, the view that self is empty of being, permanent, unitary, and independent. And this one is the one that is part of the 4 seals, so-called 4 seals of Buddhism. And these 4 seals are, the first one is, all composite phenomena are impermanent. All composite phenomena are impermanent. And second is, all contaminated phenomena are suffering. And then third is all phenomena are empty and selflessness. And then fourth is nirvana, is peace. So these are the 4 seals of Buddhism. And the one that is mentioned here is part of this 4 seal: self-lacking, permanent, unitary, and independent.
어떤 때인디가라다 지르비 두담마와데 텔레 도바스들이 되는 그런 쪽 로스 담 이게침부 인상에 그런 조사 망보질 사발레디 인상 캐치체베인스
And in the text, non-Buddhists are considered as those outsiders who is lacking, who lacks these 3 qualifications. And Geshe said you can read the text, and he went through these points again because these are the important part of this text so far, what we covered for the people who have missed previous classes.
아니 다데어데 지르기 탈반도 줄데도와 대나 그상 디 탈반도 줄데 루이당 다 루기 왕보스데다 왕봉아이고라 로 데두 너다서 다다탈지 서벨류 말람베 서벨류다 왕보 말람베스 부신제베 메진도 계획 균체베 대담바지도 기르바나 타바타바 인즈르 타바타베 세테 때리자고도 인디가라 간지 시바 균체기도 된 리겨래 그 지리기니라 가르잖아 코 다싱인데 풍보로 왕 줄바보 풍보를 줄도 디베 때리진다 인자 코베 지야 맨데게 다싱인데 루왕 왕보레요 마레 루이다레요 마레 테네 마인기지 켈링 거라 리겨도가 어디도 풍불의 텐션에 다케를 인상 디 그런 룰은 누가 두요 말이지 매차도 왔어
Also we mentioned about the achieving of the liberation according to the non-Buddhist school. And these 2 non-Buddhist schools are their way of interpretation of what is liberation. I think it's on page 158. They assert that ablutions, initiations, fasts, sacrifice, burnt offerings, and so forth are the paths of liberation. Through having meditatively cultivated yoga in accordance with the quintessential instructions of the Guru, yogis come to know the self as actuality other than the senses and so forth, and thereby see reality, understanding the nature of the 6 categories of existence. At that time, they know the self to be an all-pervasive entity but lacking activity. They do not accumulate any virtuous or non-virtuous actions or the predispositions, those established, because they do not accumulate new actions and extinguish old ones. The self separates from the body, senses, awareness, pleasure, pain, desire, hatred, and so forth, and does not assume a new body and senses. Thereby the continuum of births is severed like a fire that has consumed its fuel. When the self is alone, this is said to be the attainment of liberation. So according to this, 2 school, non-Buddhist school or outsider Vaisheshika, and Nyayika. The bottom line is that they, accept it, or they interpret that self. There is a ending of the a continuity of the consciousness, and there is and based on what they interpret for them, for their own philosophy, there is no contradiction if they say that self or a person is separate. So they accept self or person which is totally separate from aggregate or body. And this self or I or a person is like the king or owner or authority over the aggregate or body. So this is how they interpret what self or person is.
다 계산되는 마 삼년로나 장점반이 다 주로 장점바생데 장롱 설계지도 덤바 설계와 신대기 지순라네 시자 담지 니주땡한도 그래스 다 니주땡할 간데스도 그래 대양 라당 소당 첨보당 아이결당 대zam가 왕부 주지지 에 중앙한테 니주땡하고 다데 다다 니주땡하도 와 대상과 왕부 주지지 중앙아 대상과 니스땡아 따다래 어디 두스래 코란 시장이 시장아서 돼 디장강 디레다 다 대상관이 주다 지로 리장아들라 대상과시거래 왕부 지지대 르 왕부가다 르교 왕부가 이기 왕부당 주지대 르 왕부가네 미 나와 나치 파페 왕부스다 르왕즈 줄두자 에니 파파라 왕부지네 하게 땡지 왕부자고 거나 파페 왕부스 레기 왕부니 nga lapa kangpa kup domnam sosi oda jikpagi shanamda tegide kupsede shanamda tegide teda enibe duschini wangbu chuchi sede di jagware yuanganu saju melu namkha teda ta jibachi kyare teda like kibuni shepadang ta kibuze da shiri kibu te shepandu gware lama nyerjini dunsa imbe pemordo dos tachi tagi lama kibu madabe eni chik lama ni shejangi jitsebjide karzana zures pempores sigwar tati oda kona tun tanjembelu dosudo tusures
malo shelta. Page 158, we will go to the next, non-Buddhist school or outsider, Sankhya. Sankhyas, or the enumerators, are followers of the sage Kapila. They assert that all objects of knowledge are enumerated in 25 categories. The 25 categories are the self, principle, the great one, I, principle, 5 subtle objects, 11 faculties, and 5 elements. The 5 subtle objects are visible forms, sounds, odors, taste, and tangible objects. The 11 faculties are the 5 mental faculties, the 5 action faculties, and intellectual faculty. The 5 mental faculties are those of the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and skin. So here, they count skin sort of separate from physical aggregate that we have in Buddhism. The 5 action faculties are speech, arms, legs, anus, and genitalia. The 5 elements are earth, water, fire, wind, and space. And I'm reading the only translation part. So next is on page 161. From among these 25 categories, the person or self is asserted to be a consciousness or only consciousness, because it is not an aggregation of particles. The remaining 24 are asserted to be a matter, because they are aggregations of particles. So you can see here, among 25, from these 25, only self or person is this, is a consciousness.
미식이 존재 주 계제 생기로 와. 그래서 주 락바 시대 간지 작으로선 또 코로나라 주 락바 간지 작으로는 미시대. 나는 좀 낭박이 주 락바 자두가라. 두제 예디 공부들 주 락바 세고. 두제 예데 달라 주 자가 말에 주줄 티들 로들 렉체들 숨체. 데라 사추메 룽둘체네 지 티겐딘딘진라 둘달라 둘제 겐디 공부 시고래 둘달라 사둘 제둘 제되어래 둘 타랍라 가체 사나 첨부 차예요 마 둘 타랍 신디 사둘들 아니 사나 첨부 차예요 와다 아니 디디 이거라 둘제 겐디 공부 와다 독스치네 둘제 겐디 공부 시디가라 둘 예데스 간지 예 초오레스 게 사둘 체지데스
그게 가르는
주둘 디둘 로둘 레체둘 사둘 추둘 메둘 룽둘 그래서 사둘 체지를 마도 둘 차람 말이지
서주메롱 저 중화시
중화시기둘
here they mention about 25 categories. One is consciousness, and the remaining others are matter. Matter, according to this, this non-Buddhist school, Geshe said, what exactly matter means, Geshe said, although he don't know about this. But in Buddhism, when we say matter, it refers to the collection of 8, atomic, substances or entities, and these 8 are, from the 5 aggregate we called from the 5, aggregate form. I think it should be okay to say form atomic particles, form, smell, taste, tangible, and then on top of this, atomic particles of 4 elements: water, earth, fire, wind. So whenever we say matter, matter must be combination of these 8, atomic particles, and these and the atomic particles are further categorized into accumulated atomic particles and subtle atomic particles. And accumulated atomic particles can be, accumulated furthermore. If you just keep adding and adding, it will go up. But for the subtle atomic particles, even if you add, it won't increase in size.
그래서 대조다 된디 이거라 코 토지 차고 토지 주진 전 중알라 코여나 주진 전 디가린 중알라 게지 동네 토지 주 차대로 두제 겐디 공부 인도 주라 빠져.
And these atomic particles composed of 8 atomic particles. These are considered as the gross form, because whenever these atomic particles made from 8 part exist, it becomes kind of what we call something kind of tangible, or it takes a space.
근데 누구간가 즉 사이언스 당원에 tum부 차대요.
And so many of these actually kind of suits with the scientific interpretation.
맞아이나 메둘데 할레비 미 민버제데 단다가서 돈도 차야 돼. 그런 밖에 나라 메둘데 요 인자 이가라 이메트르데 디지디 메둘데 민버제 초보 차야 돼. 메둘데 지겨워. 아니 즉 야마 요야 돼. 룽둘데 찔레데. 이 유아 젠다 둘 찔레 깨게 말해. 룽둘 찔레 요야 돼. 아니 즉 코 리리진 돈도 제 가르진 찌 조사진 돼야 돼. 주들되기 전에 주인 뉴버지 룽비 유아지 민버지데 세 테버지데 그래 도스제네 코란 젤레 만나 만다이도 때도 디치 잘 레스
태워버리는 걸로.
서 사기 텍 스디갈라 즉 가르사 지고랑다 라기 이제 말이야 다 세기 뉴바데 가르사 버다 사기 테 퍼체스 라디갈라 요야데 룽기 젤레레 수도아 아니 하긴 따나야서 다스 테퍼데 하스콜 마소
And each of the four elements has its own kind of unique function.
세팅이고라 사실 대바 세팅이라 그러라. 지금 돈다데 가래니 세우지 하고 마서.
And its own function. For example, the function of the fire element is to ripen. Ripening is because of the existence of the fire element in the whatever phenomena is, and the movement is the function of the wind element, and having a shape and able to solidify is the function of the water element, and then the earth element is kind of sort of able to hold up, or this Geshe will explain later this there's one Tibetan word which sort of means like kind of holding up, but he's not exactly sure what this word itself means, the function of the or role of the earth element.
어다 두스지디 그랑 젤레 만나다 텐디도 와스 어다 텐디 인디가라 즉 메기 뉴바데다 세부 쉬브르스데 사이언스 바게 라기 와르스 먼저 밤 두스지디 메고르선나 타디가라 둘 때서 빼 고라겠는 데니 디니 메둘데 쉬부지 에침부지다 코파기 디저 코 메둘데 뒤니 루지 땅두가라 밤데 지점 뉴바체 루도세다 메 민바체 해야 돼 지점지 남바상이니 셰교다던 디상 디 사이즈 페페 코트리 경야다 때도 가가 에 tum부시부 시작을 했어 춘사 직차되어 어떠소 그런저런소이나 사이즈 장년도서 삼로 야박담 뒤돌아 거기 사이즈 페 유니 간데시기도 남비 유니 간데시기도 몸바공어도 두스다 제발제도나 야고래.
And so these are the different function of the four elements, and especially like fire elements is considered as a very the atomic the particles of fire elements of the fire elements is considered as a very strong, able to the Tibetan word is min, which means kind of ripening. So here Geshe said when scientists they try to collect only the fire elements or fire particles of the fire elements together, it becomes really kind of a strong force able to so this is the one point actually where kind of you can see common ground for the scientific study and in what is said in Buddhist here, and especially if you are science student, it should be good to kind of do the comparative study, look at the Tibetan scriptures and try to compare interpretation here with the what scientists kind of interpret.
근데 그런 중계만 보지도 되게 되고 오늘 살로 제대 제진바 인도가라 오늘 중 니가 따지 아니 삼로도 내비토니 아니 직접하게 돼 뱀스럽게 좀 버리겠어. 비고 rang chebache de trupchade dirijindo de tentumata moni chinju yongen la lamden yawacha.
And especially, the younger generations, for those who have a good, kind of chance to study, you said it's good to kind of do this kind of, analytical comparative study, and especially if you come up with the sort of result that this is, what I found from my comparative study, and this would be really kind of beneficial for, future, generations.
What do say? There, so that Kibuni, Tonaneba in the background, Tanjam Bilula, Tonaneba Josana, so that Kibu Nichuchin Labgiri, so that Kibu de Tonaneba, General Kunza Demba in Celebrate. Dembagi, Dembas, Dugala, Chick, Cars or Tangal, Demba Gisi, Demba Nisi Ajidoa, Namba Inakan, we need to carry Tebade, Dembadere. We know the Matena, and Demba Mare. Lozor never till Tayo. Lo Cholu Gitana, Nizuka Chadewa. What up? Tanjamba Lula, Demba Sidugala, Tanda Nambijuni, Shebanajinji, Jagi, Mishi. What up? So the Coranola, Demba the teeth and Dagi or Kanchi, Dembiti, the Mone Pejadina, Lozor Nebajigi. Cholung Mebachigi, Tayin Dugala, moving it to take in dilla, Dembas, Mitegendela, Zumbas, those what? Takorangola, so the Kibu de Tondam Demba, Jen Kunza de Dotos. Dela Yang, Yuinland, Dibu Maimba, Uninigae, Dibuin like Yumaimba, Uninigame, Muji at os, that thing money, Mujitade, Takoran Rola dos Muji Tigorte, Chitane Muji di Tina, e Missiva Yabore, Marando Carsore. Ripe, not fairly shit up and over. The Muji di Tina Yabore.
Continue with the reading, page 161. The person and the principle, or the fundamental nature, are ultimate truths. Because they are non-manifest objects of knowledge. The other are asserted to be conventional truth. So here, you can see this non-Buddhist school also has a sort of same term that we use in Buddhism: true truth, ultimate truth, and conventional truth. But again, Geshe said he don't know what exactly they mean when they say ultimate truth and conventional truth. Generally, when we say truth in Buddhism, like a four truth, true truth. Truth means when somebody with an unbiased mentality examine or investigate, and it conforms with the reality, and that is what we consider the truth. And continue with the reading. Furthermore, these 25 categories are included in only 4 types: that which is a cause but not an effect, that which is both a cause and effect, that which is an effect but not a cause, and that which is neither a cause nor an effect.
Tab di muji najinjide ko ti go midota ni page de osroa penangaran so dinala America mi de ni la muji tina charanto sewa ha gures niga imba charanto ta American citizen dezo American mi niga mure American mi inla ta mi maimba yo marwa muji mi doa American mi chap gurwa ta mi la American mi ingu mi doa pena tenam re ngazo American mi mare mi de mi de karla gure marche ton ko mi risu ne ba mi singi jagwa de mi mai American mi de mi niga mainken ta khang de orwa tuno semjen ganga pe deso ganga mi mare American mi mare oto sucheri mujiranda mi de musu doa do siji de mutia yore o do siji ne tina ripa gel age goche gre kendo gre
And here, in the English translation, they didn't use the word exactly, but Tibetan word is mu, which sometimes translated as a kind of possibilities. They are like 4 possibilities. If you have 2 things, and when you try to kind of include one under another, you kind of have 4 possibilities. Like here, what it says, which cause not effect, both cause and effect, effect but not a cause, which is neither cause nor an effect. And this way of learning is very kind of helpful, logically in understanding. And Geshe-la said, the simple example we can use is, when we look at how many possibilities between a person and the, American, then you can, kind of use this, 3 here. It kind of 3 possibilities. Somebody who is an American citizen is, he is a person as well as American. So this is, both. And then the second one is, which is a person but not an American, and that could be like Geshe said, me and Geshe-la, who has complete qualification or definition of a person, able to speak and understand or comprehend, and then neither American nor person could be anything, like this table or whatever, but there is not the 4th one, which is American but not a person. There's that doesn't exist. So there's 3 possibilities here. So when you try to understand the cause and effect, like what mentioned here, this is in Buddhism we call mu, possibility. So you can use this kind of understanding, try to do a comparative and what kind of includes under what. So this. Geshe said, according to your own kind of ways of thinking, how do you define a person or human being? Do you have a definition or meaning for human being? Self-aware. Is that the only one word, self-aware? That's it?
You can get more deep into that, but that's just are you talking about the physical definition?
I don't know, just meaning. I said when you say physical, when you have a human or person in your mind, does that only make you think the body or just physical part? So generally, when we talk, a lot, and we use this human being, person. So when you use this word, what is the definition behind this? What do you refer to? Quran license self-awareness the so kalore. You have the shiva sheshura. And Geshe said, what about people with sort of said, with I don't know what exactly English translation will do, but it's kind of if you are not able to talk, it's like mute, right? But there are people who has a mental disability who don't actually comprehend their own self. So aren't those people they're lacking in a sort of mental problem? They don't have a feeling that is required. So they don't include, according to your meaning, they don't include under person or human being.
So if you say human body and then you start negating, well, is it?
You're just saying human being.
Marshe Tunko mi riksu nepazde singi zursum yores riksu nepategi jiba chunchu marshi yo marwa tonda gugu yo marwa I kupa da nga kupa de marshi yo mar ton gugu yo marwa ina mi gi sota de yo inza mi de selam ko rini ti gi dugu ar chediu gi rini se yo ngwa wasa utende la pire la tikande to sikeso sanga dugu.
Because in Buddhism, when we define this human, there is 3 kind of actually part here, of the meaning. The first one is, able to talk, and second is able to comprehend the meaning, and then third is kind of type of or which includes under human type. So this me riksunyabalism, me rigri, me rigim.
Me rigri, riksunende. Tigi karzana me riksunebasere, rigne dela chepe rigne da divi rigne di yongware. Chepe tanda di divi rigne mada chepe rigne mare. Kare dugu arzana jiva chunchu chema tabate marshi go marte tengu marte mi pubote yo insa mi togres. Ani ikuba nga kuba te zode marshi go marte ta kugu marte nga kuba la tengu gore marshi go mare. Ikuba la marshi na ya tengu mare. Tezo mi la dugu ares.
So the third, which it's like literally it would be like a kind of a person or a type of a person. So I guess that this kind of includes or does not exclude babies. They can't talk or they don't understand, but they still. And then the first two part of the meaning excludes mute. Mentally kind of. Because she was asking how is this in meaning or definition. How do you feel? Is it kind of inclusive? Does that include all human? Is there any do you have any kind of criticism?
As far as talking, dogs talk. Communicate is the key word. To talk to you, anybody can talk. And someone with no mental faculties at all can just be talking. There, but that's communicating. They communicate.
Communicate like the ones in Chitory, Pazo, Sik, the Cheche. Pazo, Kodatrachora, Kodatrachor, the Kitchen Motomusa. She done the Kitchen, the Kitchen.
There's some Maris. Marsh, Tonko, Miris, never the thing.
Because when we look at this definition of meaning, one has to have all this meaning, completely. And we if you look at, of course, one part, then parrot can talk, but parrot doesn't include, has all the remaining two. One has to have all this, part. And some monkeys are actually more smarter than people.
Can you start out as a human and then lose? Can you become not human anymore in one lifetime by losing the ability to talk or to comprehend? Someone ends that before they die?
Me kansa miji kieshero. Me kieshinda me the machine yela me senyi loud word yorosa.
Did they own Mara? Me singing the song Chabra. These are the Marchashing Maris. Didn't you gala?
That couldn't be possible. As long as one is human, he must or he has to have a definition or meaning of what human is, and that is the that kind of the important part is the third part, that type or kind, that.
But you have to have all three to be human.
Yeah.
You don't have the ability to comprehend and to talk.
Kezi da kansa mi chinero mi keja she machine da thonda ma nge na tinde mi yoro sa.
Yo insan tagi kong lak sawasi. Iku ba yor de lak sawasi. Ma ku ba.
Da gesila thonda de la wora mi na tensu sunga injim ju goya yo mare la wora. konjo koyal de koja mi yusna ma she ko wor thyen ko wor mi ru sunga chang ko wor skeju sunga
singi zur re chang di ingu ma res wa
ma da tiwa de she mi na singi sur sunga chang ko wor esa
de chang ko ma ri be chunjun singi zur sunga
So I guess the clarification here is Geshe said, if somebody is a person, it is not necessary that one has to have all these three parts. So that's reason Geshe mentioned about baby. They don't possess the first two part of the definition or meaning. The newborn baby.
That's a psychology, because you're saying human being, person.
Or you can say person, or you can.
What are those race? Like the law charts on us. Those in the big watch Jetan, the Hakuna. The kids on the they chain that to take a name some down for it.
Or maybe I should say person, or instead of human being, person. And so Geshe said this is just sort of it's like a key, it's the key for your study, and so you can use it's a key for opening your kind of analysis. So this is how you use your logical approach, and so with the same kind of logic, definition, and whether this is applicable or whether so you can use this way of logical understanding to whatever phenomena out there.
But those again we've been really China. Also we watch the police, on that is only the Tanjamilu the Shangi Senga the Pa, Nini Tata Chichi, Nini Tata Chichi Sanatini, Mujitona, the good Mangedela Mujitana, the Shibu Praya
To do some and so for here before the Geshe said if there is a kind of way that you can use a logical approach or logical steps, and here they mention about which is cause not effect. According to this non-Buddhist school enumerators, they have 4 possibilities: cause and effect, right? And if you know the 25 categories, then you will be able to kind of have a good understanding of these 4 types or 4 possibilities.
I will
take a break.